gross.
This is the Gross Domesticated Podcast Live, aka GDP Live. Hey, Kevin, good to see you in the chat. We also got we go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11-ish till 1 p.m. And you can catch it on Facebook on the Gross Domesticated Podcast page, or you can also catch it on Instagram at Baby Mermaid Productions on Instagram. Just follow it there. If you don't catch the show live, you can catch past episodes, audio only, wherever you get your audio podcasts, or on YouTube on the Baby Mermaid Productions podcast page. It's a YouTube page, but it's basically all podcasts. I say that every time. Hey, Jazzy, I love that nickname. I was just talking to my mother about this morning. Real morbid conversation with coffee, over coffee this morning with my mom. We were talking. I usually call her when I get back from jujitsu. I just skipped juju this morning because I have a calf bruise and it hurts a lot, and it's pretty bad. I thought actually this is how my stupid non-medical brain. Hey, John. I don't know. I almost called him Kevin as well. John. Hello, John Montague. I was talking to my mom this morning, and oh no, I skipped jujitsu this morning because my calf hurt like fucking crazy. Hey, Jizzy, and um, I didn't know what it was. I was freaking out because yesterday morning when I went to put my socks on, again my calf hurts. I don't understand why. Again, I had all this bruising at my ankle. And I was like, oh no, because I had just seen a post from a fighter, I believe Julian Marquez is his name. He's the Cuban Missile Crisis. Great fighter, love him. He from Kansas City, Missouri. A real kind of a shtick guy, like good personality. Like his call out after he won the first fight I saw him, I think this year, and he afterwards he said he called out Miley Cyrus. He asked her to be his Valentine, and I go, that's pretty funny. I like that. A fighter, it's just this guy, this killer, goes out and then says Miley Cyrus, and then she said something about shaving a heart into his chest hair, and she's his, and like, boom, he did it. You know, I don't know if he actually did it or not. And then he just beat Smiling Sam Alvey with a pretty severe neck crank, or it was kind of like a side, not really a rear naked choke, like a side naked choke, but they were both closed in their new Venom gear. Really cool for the UFC. And but no, he won by submission, and then but no, he posted this thing about uh this severe crazy injury that he had that actually, John, you may know about. It's I guess a thing that baseball players get a lot, or it's like a latimus dorsi muscle ripped from the bone or whatever. He had a 100%. Like the doctor that did the surgery said he had done a million of those surgeries or thousands of those or whatever, and never seen one that bad. Like it was the most severe injury he'd seen, and from what, and I'm very much aware of my patella tendon since a personal friend of mine, as well as a comedian, um, two people, Tom Segura, had this really bad injury where their patella tendon just kind of tore away from their knee, and I've been very aware of that. Like just like make sure I'm hydrated, stretching a lot, no basketball because both of those injuries happened while they were playing basketball. Both people, that's crazy. I think that's nuts. No more basketball for Pat. No more. Pat will. I've never played a ton of basketball. Actually, I played for a little bit. Was very interested in middle school, but was too fat for it and ended up hurting my knees from jumping too much. I think. Uh, that is I think that's. I'm minimalizing it, but that's definitely a true story. Bad knees. So my legs are valuable to me. I want to take care of these babies. You know, I put these guys through a lot. I've been fat most of my life. So when I had this really bad injury, I was like, and then I saw this weird bruising. It kind of looked like, and yes, obviously, I wouldn't be able to walk on it if it 100% tore away from the bone, right? But I was thinking, oh my god, maybe this is too many dunks. Yeah, yeah. Honestly, one too many dunks. Tom Segura in that case was both of them. Actually, I think in both cases they were going up to dunk. Lat dorsi is a terrible injury. It's such a huge muscle. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't want like calf is a pretty important one too. I was just listening to a podcast with George St. Pierre was the guest, GSP, a retired UFC fighter, very famous French Canadian. He was talking about leg locks, and leg locks were not really focused on a lot early on in jiu-jitsu and MMA and stuff like that. And eventually a person kind of brought up the person Dean Lister brought up the fact that like to him he shared it on the show that like he said it's the math doesn't add up, but he says legs are 50% of the body. Why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you attack those too? Why not? Why just the? And I was like, well, you got a torso, you got arms and a head and stuff like that. It's like it's a third of the body. It's a very important third of the body. You can even put it that way. It's not 50%. If your legs are 50% of your body, I don't know if that adds up. Am I wrong? John, you may know that. I don't know. I'm putting a lot on you today. I apologize. Great photoshops by John, by the way. I want to thank publicly John Montag for doing such a wonderful job. Again, Montague spelled, Montag said. I apologize. I missaid it earlier. But great photoshops. Had me LOLing in the last episode. And I hope that the audio is a little bit better on this one. I don't know what happened. I with the file on the last episode, it was a little staticky or shitty audio or whatever. I'm trying to be better. Hey, that's why they're daily-ish. Every other daily, Trial and error. We're getting it right. We want to get the right chemistry, You peep, you pound. I listen. You can join in on Instagram. You can pound off on Facebook. You can comment even after the fact. It doesn't matter. This is a dialogue, not a monologue, guys. John's pounding off in the comments on Instagram. He says, tears in a lot of pitchers in baseball overuse. Yeah. So, yeah, it's like that. But he was like, and I don't know if it happened actually during the fight or not. I really didn't read the whole post. But I just got to the latimus dorsi and I was like, oh, my God, is that what's happening? Do I have a latimus calf's leg? Do I have a calf's leg? But it was like he was like punching, and he had this. The thing is, like, you always get the bruising somewhere else, but it's like it bunches up here or something like whatever the fuck it. Ugh. Always attack the eyes. They are the lat dorsi of the face. Ooh, that's a really good hint. So if you're ever in a fight, go for the latimus dorsi of the face, aka eyeballs. Windows to the soul. If you're hippie, I'm not. Don't let the headband fool you. This is Outlaw Pat, baby. I feel like again, to continue, I was talking to my mother this morning, and I said something about she said that she wanted to she's like, oh, she's like, I gotta pick the song for she's making she's being responsible. She's making some arrangements. It's no big deal. There's no bad news, nothing to report. Just making arrangements, just being responsible. And so she's to lighten the mood, where she's just telling me about some of the stuff. She's like, oh yeah, I got to pick a song and everything. I was like, you don't get to pick a song. I was like, that's like a nickname. You don't get to pick your memorial song. I will. It's what suits you the best. We'll find out. It's one of those things. It's for us. It's not just you're not going to hear it. It's for us. And then I told her it's going to be either Cisco's The Thong Song, I believe it was, or Laffy Taffy. So either one of those songs I think is going to be suiting and really kind of sums up Mom perfectly. If you really pay attention to the lyrics, we can do another lyric breakdown. I don't know if it's going to be as good. Obviously, Laffy Taffy's better than Faith No More. We all know that. 6'9" boys, baby. Always attacked. Oh yeah, sorry. Kevin says that's like reading WebMD to self-diagnose. No. It goes further. So that was why I was catching you up. Why I was talking to Mom this morning, or I was talking to Mom over the over coffee about what songs about our memorials or whatever. Um, but I skipped jujitsu because I was like, yeah, let me give it another day or so. And I'm like, the swelling's gone down, the tightness isn't as bad, but like the bruising is weird, right? So it's just at my ankle. I don't know if I can actually get it on camera, but but I'll post a picture or something. Um, no, I texted my jujitsu coach, my jujitsu professor. I apologize, Jeff. So, Dr. Jeff, Professor Jeff, did remind me that he is not a doctor. So I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I was just like, what? Like, what? Have you seen this before? Is this something? I was like, essentially like a late night host doing a monologue. I said, you seen this? You read about this right here? My caficus foot lie leg. What the fuck is this? Why is this? I said it hurts up here, but it's a showing down here. What's going on here? Why do I have a bruised ankle? And you know what I mean? Like it's really kind of weird. So Jeff, my my doctor, said this is essentially like I just want to know like if this isn't like something you've seen before, because if it's like again reassured me, not a doctor, but he did say, uh, ice it. It looks like you got a really bad calf bruise, and then the blood is it. Oh, hold on, how did he put it? Hold on, here we go. He says I'll look into it, but it looks like you bruised your calf muscle. The bruise at the bottom of your foot is blood pooling from your calf. Gravity makes that happen. And yes, please send me a dick pic. In fact, send me all the dick pics. I offered to send a dick pic for scale, just so he knew the amount of swelling. And actually, I can just probably show that here then, right? Here, like that's what my foot looks like. Oh, go on now. It's weird, right? Hold on. There you go, John. Take a look. That's like, and then up on my calf, it just looks fucking swole, and it hurts to touch. Like it hurts to touch, and it's tight to walk on. So I was like, Doctor Beck, what's going on? Um, I do like the fact that he reminded me. He's like, I'll look into it. Like I have Google too. Like I don't know why you're asking me. I'm asking him as like I was asking him in the scale of jujitsu. Is this normal? And he's like, yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay. As long as you've seen it before. If he was like, damn, I don't no idea what the fuck that is. Karate Doctor coming to Netflix 2021. Kevin. John says, so I calls my karate guy, my karate doctor, and asked why my under knee is ouchy. Exactly. And then he answered the question. Now I understand. It's I finally know. I it wasn't like a I also my other medical thing. By the way, actually I should actually go to the doctor because something on my elbow. I have a little bump right here. I wasn't going to ask Jeff, like I'm not going to go up to my karate doctor and just say like, "Hey man, have you like touch right here. Is that normal?" Although there is a person that I've rolled with at jujitsu that said that he was a physician's assistant, I believe, or he was maybe possibly training to what is it? Studying. That's it. To be a doctor, not a doctor. Uh, so I did ask him. I was like, hey, is this normal? Like I've done that shit before too. Like I'm such a fucking dumbass. I obviously need to go to the doctor, but I'm just like any possible like if one person's like, yeah, that's normal, or oh yeah, just put some whatever on it. I'm just like, okay, yeah, good enough for me. Karate doctor says looks normal. Blood pooling at the bottom of your foot, totally normal. He did, but he did not say don't train. I suggested that. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a day off. I'm gonna take a little bit of time for Pat to relax and podcast a little bit, talk with his buddies online, stream a bit, talk to my mom about what jock jams we're gonna have at our memorial. I figured, come on, ride that train. I feel like it needs to be like celebrate, like there's just like good times, like you know you don't get to pick your own because then you're gonna be like this one's deep. Like I thought about that. It's so weird that I've had that thought before, and not in a like I was planning my own death or anything like that. Just like, hey man, I like this song a lot. I would like, if anything, I was using my funeral. I was thinking at the time because I was probably 20, maybe 19 years old at the time. And I think it was a Thrice song that came out on the album Visu. And I remember just being like, I love this song so much that I was like, I want this. I want to play this for all my buddies. Like for everybody that I know, I just want them to have to listen to the song. I was using it like essentially like a when you roll up to the fucking jukebox with a 10 spot. Like you all are my bitch now. Like you have to listen to this. I feel like that's exactly what I was like. I was planning that. So obviously there's a level of maturity that I've reached now in my 30s where I'm like, you know what? Just play what song you like. I'm not, because honestly, I made a playlist. I worked really hard on a playlist for my wedding that really just kind of skipped over eventually. Like I was kind of like, all right, well, I put some thought into that. Okay, but by that time I was already drunk and married at the time, so I was on cloud 117. Popped out of the shower, forgot my wedding ring, but don't forget it, ladies. Taken. Understand? This is the only finger you need to worry about, bitch. Hands off. This broken man, this guy who has all these bumps and oh yeah, my what I was saying is if I find a bump on one side, I immediately go to the other side to see if I can find an identical bump. And then if I can't, I go, oh, gotta check that out. Probably, right? And then I got a bump over here, but not over here. Could be elbow, could be elbow paralysis. Who knows? Could be elbow cancer. I don't know. Physician's assistants really are good to go for info. They know down how to dumb down smart medical stuff to make sense for normal brains. He really was like, and he wasn't like he. I was apologizing like, I shouldn't do this, man. I'm sorry. And he's like, no, 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 it's all right. Like if it like I'm not like saying like, hey, can you do a physical? Like, let's go in the locker room. I'm gonna pop these gi pants off. I'm gonna turn my head. You let me know what's going on. Anything else? Like if we can do a blood work, I can give you a stool sample. Again, just wait there. I go better when people watch. So if you can watch, but so yeah, I gotta either I have to go back to jujitsu and hope that my doctor's there and say, I got this bump on my elbow. Is that normal in jujitsu that you get a bump right here? Like it's like not my elbow. I know what that bump is. This bump right here is my elbow, but this one, I don't know. There's like a little bump in there. Oof, it's weird. Also, yeah, there's things like it's funny because there's uh, I don't know. There's a level of like blood pooling. I don't know why. I don't know whenever the words blood pooling have ever made me feel comfortable, but when my very respected jujitsu professor says, "I've seen that before. Don't worry about it." I mean, he's also somebody who trains a lot on a pretty fucked up knee. It's pretty fucked up, but he's there's a level of like, is this? I wasn't saying is this like cancer. It was my calf didn't run. My calf didn't tear 100% from my bone, did it? And he's like, no, I don't think so. Hey, after we roll around, sweaty, you think you can take a look at this thing in my nets? Or just I honestly, if you can get him in the right position, you just be like, hey, by the way, while you're there, while I got you in this triangle, no, I couldn't triangle him. No, there's a level of like professionalism that I like to keep. Like if there's, it's kind of the same thing. Like and I, because I've reacted that way too, where people just kind of like go like, hey, Pat, tell me how you do your thing. Tell me how you do everything you do. It's like, well, I'm kind of, this is kind of what I try to do this is what I'm doing for women, right? Like, this is what I want to try to do here. And it's like, if it was a matter, I feel like there's a difference between advice and then just like, and do the work. You did the work for me. Now, just go ahead, just give me all the information. It's like, I don't want to do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just say, there's a level of, so like he went to med school, he went to, I don't want to, but he gets paid a lot of fucking money and he does have a job. There is more of a demand for doctors and physicians assistants and all that than there are podcast producers. I understand it, but I mean, hey, if you listen to a lot of podcasts, there is a lot more demand than you think. Okay. So this is the guy who had the world's worst audio yesterday, and again, I do apologize. I addressed that, and I hope it's a lot silky smoother today. Because, and then honestly, if it's not, and you don't like it, I don't really give a shit.
Who do you think you are? I am.
Okay, don't forget it. I am. My calf hurts less. He also suggested aspirin. He said ice, and I assume he meant ice cream. So I went for some ice cream. Again, doctor's orders. So hopefully my calf feels better and I can go back to jujitsu soon because, and I want to re-injure it. Let's go. Come on. This leg ain't gonna injure itself. Come on. This right leg. This isn't the one actually. For a lot of years, it's so weird. I don't believe. For a lot of years, I kind of went back and forth on like, am I John? Please, this trigger warning, John. I apologize. I wasn't necessarily into religion, but I was also trying to figure out like I was kind of still like I would be like, oh yeah, fuck whatever, religion's dumb, you know. But then I'd also be like, I hope God didn't hear that. If God's real, I'm fucked. Can you get the kung fu physician's assistant on the cast one day to answer all our dumb medical questions? That would be really good, actually. He is really funny. I think I like talking to him. Like I consider him a cool dude. Like I already considered him a person that I enjoy talking to anyway. And I don't always just ask him medical advice. I just felt bad in the like being like I felt like I was using him for his but if he is on board for it, because he wasn't that he was willing to give me information, but also saying like, yeah, you should, no, if you want to get it checked out, that's probably a good idea. Or that's my thing a lot of times is like sometimes when I'm like, oh, I have a bump here on my elbow. I have a bump here on my elbow. I don't know why I said it like that. Uh, what I don't know what's a elbow doctor. Like is that a you go bone doctor? Is there such thing as a bone doctor? Internal medicine because it's in my body. Most of the stuff shouldn't it be like it's like internal medicine, dermatologist, obviously, because then that would be outdoor medicine, and then out frontier medicine, I believe it's called. And then there's also like surgeons and all that shit, right? Dentists for the mouth, which I go to now. Thank you very much. Um, I think so physician's assistant is kind of one of those things of like it's more of like I'm saying like, hey man, do you mind helping? Like just telling me you got a number for a guy for like a hurt finger. I told him something about my pinky was fucked up. That's what it was. It was my pinky was fucked up, and he said something about it's like the oh god damn it, I can't remember it now. And it won't. I don't know if it. Yeah, see now it closes all the way. It used to like it used to only go like to here. I couldn't close flexor tendon. That's what it was. It was a flexor tendon. John, you probably know that too. Bone doctor equals orthopedic. See, John. He was a sports dude. He's still a sports fan, but he was in the sports realm. I'm not. I'm just now getting my karate doctor. He probably had a baseball doctor years ago. Coach, doctor, my flexor tendon was fucked up. And he was just basically he told me what that was. Like I was like, oh man, my pinky won't close. Why? And he's just like, oh, that's your flexor tendon. And I was like, oh, okay. I just tape up my finger, still roll. Just don't rely on that pinky, go with the other pinky. You lean heavy on your right pinky if your left pinky's hurt. Now, look at that. Close. Actually, that was also the lockdown. But it still, by the way, it still hurts like right here. It's crazy. If it like doesn't like it's like an old sore tendon. I have really sore tendon. I don't know if that's my bone. I don't know. You know what? Orthopedic. You're right. I got to go to my orthopedic doctor. Teeth are just the bones of your mouth. Hey doc, I got a problem with my mouth bones. Can you help me? Could you take the little bone saw out of your little kit there and check out, get your peepers on my mouth bones? Hey, come peep and pound on my mouth bones. Thanks. Bye. Wait, when? Don't hang up. Bones are just the teeth. Bones are just the teeth of your body. That's what Kevin's saying. I like that. All right. We got Kevin and John pounding off real hard in the comments, guys. If you want to catch the live pounding, because I do erase that video. Don't you forget that, bitch. All right. These videos don't live on. Only these right here. And also if you're hearing it in your ear bones. Actually, I used to work with the orthopedic surgeons in the Harrisburg area. I really can probably connect you. Oh, really? Oh, wow. Hey, if you if you worked with them all or whatever, like, does that mean like you interacted? Did you have a lot of lunches? Maybe you can tell me who has the best personality, because that's honestly what I need in a lot of my doctors. I need them, and I also I need to know the thing. I think not that I don't mean this, and this wasn't my my karate doctor that had, and I'm gonna switch it to jujitsu doctor because he may get offended by it if I keep calling him karate doctor. That's just the show we're pitching. He's the inspiration for it. But my jujitsu doctor, Professor Jeff, was Professor Beck was uh he wasn't the person that gave me this, like, it's just a general kind of feel. I think that I remember like a lot of people talking about going to the doctor when like before the pandemic, we used to use a locker room at the gym. Now we kind of all either I dress ahead of time usually, and but we there used to be discussions of like, basically, if you go to the doctor as somebody who regularly trains jujitsu, they're going to basically say like, yeah, if you don't want to have this injury or this problem, just stop doing jujitsu. And like, and basically the consensus on that is kind of like, psh, like, nah, like, no, but like, what can I, like, is there a cream? Is there a stretch? Can I do something? You know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of the same thing that I was talking about. I wasn't criticizing Jeff earlier by saying like, oh yeah, his knee pops out every once in a while, but like, it's also because it's like, you can pop it back, you know? And who knows if that's, but if you go to a doctor, they're going to be like, if he goes and gets that fixed, it's going to be lots of time away from jujitsu. And if you really like jujitsu, you don't want if the diagnosis is stop that thing you love, then it's not going to be, and it's not like, and it's not even like I would like to compete more, but like, it's not even like most of the people compete even at the gym. So like, if you're just wanting to do it, if it is literally just your hobby, or it's just the thing that, like, it's your exercise, or it's your outlet, or whatever it may be, you like to say like, oh yeah, well, if you keep bleeding in your ankles and your fucking calf hurts like a motherfucker, stop doing jujitsu. Like, yeah, duh, I can do that, but like, what can I do to continue jujitsu and not have all that blood in my ankle pooling up there, and then the severe pain in my calf? Oh, I can tell you most of them are dickheads. Like, funny dickheads like me, or like dickheads? Like, honestly, if that's the case, then god damn it. I like, maybe then I don't need a specialist. Maybe I need a physician's assistant for an orthopedic. Give me their assistance numbers, John. Have them on my desk. No. Yeah, if you can't, even if you just veer me in the right like play. Actually, I don't even know what my fucking insurance covers. So honestly, I may not have that much of a choice. So Is that an insurance thing? This is probably all off the air talk, but who gives a fuck? It's GDP, man. Domesticated. This part's under the domesticated part, right? Doctors and stuff. This is how I book all my doctor's appointments too, live on GDP. So if you ever want to be part of that, make sure you come on. You can join. Come on now. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can pound off live. Kevin says ear bones are pretty crazy, turning sound waves into sweet lullabies. That's cool, man. That should be your tagline for your midnight AM show. I would listen to that too. Kevin, I feel like you should have a fucking cryptid podcast, or again live AM like midnight show, like an Art Bell type thing. Like there's no like I feel like you're open to it. You know you are. Makes these cool little fucking Sasquatch hunting license pins. I fucking love those things. I think I have both of them on my jacket, my jean jacket. And my jean jacket is reserved for only the coolest patches. Okay? I've been mistaken for somebody trying to what's it called? Appropriate biker culture or fashion. And honestly, I honestly do not want to be a hippie. I don't want to be mistaken for a hippie, and I don't want to be mistaken for a biker. No direct offense to either one of those, unless you want this heat, and I am fucking here for it. So you know what? Offense by it. No, I don't want to be associated with either one of those because I don't necessarily identify with either one of those. Don't I'd have no desire to own, ride, or be on at any way or near motorcycles. And also, the kind of the same thing when Dom told me or asked me if I was wearing patchouli, I immediately felt so self-conscious about my new deodorant that I was wearing. Because I finally found aluminum-free deodorant, which makes me sound like a hippie as well, but that is more of the conspiracy theorist in my head. That's what I'm saying. I'm like I will absolutely accept and embrace the moniker of snowflake because I am like I feel like the most snowflakiest of anything. I'm very unique. I have a lot of weird thoughts. You heard them in the last show over all that static. There was I have very interesting thoughts about suicide. I don't need to reiterate them, but that's very clear. I'm a very clear advocate for assisted suicide. um, I said it wasn't, and then I just did it. Denim jacket isn't biker culture. Leather. That's what I thought. But I had jean jacket with patches, pins, and bandana, and people went biker. And I would think, okay, so if somebody said hippie, I would go like, oh yeah. And I had done a show that night and I had talked a lot about drugs. So like I understand that, somebody during that show that night, uh, during my set, my performance while I was on stage, told me I reminded them of Seth Rogen. So very kind heckle. I honestly I find it flattering. But it might have been I don't wasn't wearing the jean jacket at the time, but I did have the bandana. I don't know if he wears bandanas. Uh, that's closer to punk, right? And honestly, if I'm gonna say, if you said like, oh, that's punk rock, dude, I go like, fuck yeah, I would unironically take that as a compliment, even if you meant it as an insult. I go, thanks, bro. They say, Pat, you look punk as fuck. I go, fuck yeah, dude. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm into fashion now, baby. I'm embracing this natural curl. I'm doing the headband. I credit Dominique, wife underscore George on Instagram. Make sure you give her a follow. 100%. Joggers, I credit more to uh losing weight because like I've been on the jogger bandwagon for a long time. I don't even know if it's a bandwagon. I might have been in on it years and years ago, but I was at a size where joggers didn't work for me. You got to be a lot skinnier, fat, if not fat even at all. And it turns out I was super duper fat, way too fat for joggers. But now I'm embracing the jogger. This is a 2X shirt. I just really like the shirt. And but I'm down to a large. Come on. Who loves you, baby? I was reminded again by Manny this past weekend that I cannot. I accidentally went into some fat material, and I was like, oh wait, oh fuck, I forgot I'm not fat. It's been so I've it sounds like a humble brag, I promise, but it's been I have not had a ton of time on stage not fat, except for just like open mics and stuff. So like long form. So it's like one of those things of like, oh, I like to be more spread. Let me try to pull from here, pull from here. It's like, oh, what are you doing from there? You know, Pat, they don't get it. I had to abort quick. I recovered. Don't worry about it. We won't. I mean, you legit look like you're cosplaying for young Jerry Garcia at this point. Yeah, I understand that. Like, I'm not offended. I guess that's the thing. Is like I don't like it, but I understand it. I don't understand the biker thing with the denim and the bandana. I don't know the bandana thing. Actually, I it's hard for me even to perform a lot of times at the Comedy Zone in my own mind because I know everybody is looking this way at the stage, and on the stage, if you've been to the Comedy Zone in Harrisburg at all, the stage has all this painting on the back, and it says Comedy Zone, and like weird fucking toothy mouths, like crazy looking, like what's the thing? Rocky Horror Picture Show kind of lips, but with like very bright, big teeth, big like almost like dentures, and then like some dead comedians, some alive comedians, some comedians that have been there, and then like Cheech and Chong, right at the stairs, like right as you're walking up. So at one point, my face like this face with the beard and the bandana and everything, because hey, I'm embracing natural curl. I got all this other stuff. Uh, walking up the stairs, like at some point, is like parallel completely to Tommy Chong's face. And then while I'm on stage, looking like this, uh, he's right there. So it's like, and then like I don't want it to seem like hack to like fucking shout out to hacks to like to say like, oh, I look like this, but I feel like yes, I get it. Like I promise I am not doing this on purpose. I'm not trying to look like Jerry Garcia on purpose. I'm not trying to look like a biker on purpose. I don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to look cool. I really honestly that's it. And if anybody thinks I look cool and be comfortable, like what the fuck? If that I think that's kind of what everybody's trying to do. Some people focus on the comfortable, and that's okay, but it's. And then with me, I just haven't had choices my whole fucking life. So I'm trying to get used to being able to pick what clothes to wear. I bought a shirt at Banana Republic, guys, and that's bananas in itself. I mean, it barely fits, but it's there. You know what I mean? It's crazy that uh like that's those kind of places, like stores like that, and like I don't want to be. I truly am like somebody that goes like I'm happy to buy clothes at Walmart. I'm happy to buy clothes at Target, uh, Banana Republic, fucking it does whatever. Like I bought a shirt at a fucking museum gift shop that I legit is one of my top 5 shirts right now. I love that shirt. I wish I could wear it every day. And you saw it because what does it have on it, John? What does it have on it? Got a fucking bridge on it. I love bridges. I want to go on a bridge tour. Not unironically, not a covered bridge tour. It doesn't have to be like fancy. I want mammoths in modern design. Love a bridge. Target has really awesome clothes now. Yeah, like it's weird, and I know I I used to be really weirded out by or like self-conscious about like possibly running into another person that was wearing a shirt that I was wearing. And by the way, at the show that I was at, that the lady told me, I reminded her of Seth Rogen. There was a guy that this big old fat guy walking around in this button up flannel long sleeve shirt that I was like, hey, I have that shirt. I was like, I did not almost wear it, but I was like, oh my God, I think I almost wore that shirt. Like I definitely touched that on my way to this shirt. You know what I mean? Like I was moving this one out of the way to put this one on. But it's just that close. It was just in the other hand. And imagine if I was at that show, I'm like, I'm wearing the same shirt as this motherfucker. If you guys don't like me, I don't fucking understand it. Like, we obviously connect somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, I don't understand, but luckily they connected. Don't worry, guys. Next time you come to New Jersey, we can walk the Ben Franklin Bridge. It's fun. I run it sometimes. Yeah. Oh my God, John, dude, I will buy you an ice cream cone, and we could hold hands, and it's gonna be the most fun time ever. Or we can do the 6 feet thing if you want to be fucking cool and you want to like protect your baby. But I am very much vaccinated, FYI. So we're walking the what's that one? Is that the one that goes from Jersey to Philly? Ben Franklin Bridge? Do we have to pay, do you have to pay to walk bridges? This is a hey, I have a very interesting question. If there is a series of enterprises that you could go to, is it cheaper to avoid tolls to just park on one side, walk the bridge or walk past the thing, and then go? You know what I mean? Because some of those bridges, they're expensive. Bridge date, yeah, I can't wait. And honestly, and maybe we'll save a life. Not a joke. I'm not joking. I would be absolutely and I would be so happy to go like, hey, one of those things like, hey, what's going on, man? Come on down, grab on them. I'll put my jean jacket on them. We'll get them an ice cream. It's gonna be so fucking lit, dude. Free to walk, baby. Yes, fuck yes. That's the key. You just drive up to one point, stop at some, park. Oh, I guess you have to pay to park. Fuck. We'll figure this out. Or just force gump it. Just keep running. Keep going. Right? I love that. What side note, we're gonna get into it a little bit later. I was talking about hippies, but and I want to talk about I was hoping Charles would be here. I'll wait a little bit longer about this because there's a theme today, and it's cereals. There's a show called Serpent that we started watching on Netflix that I wanted to talk that was directly suggested by Charles Baynard himself, Zanzani, the Zanzaniel, sorry, Zanzaniel. I don't know why I said Zanzani. At the halfway point, the bridge of the bridge, they have the number for the suicide prevention hotline on a sign. That's cool. Hell yeah. Can you imagine if you get up there? Oh man, I forgot my phone. Fuck. Like, we'll lend somebody our phone. If anything, let the professionals or the volunteers, let's just say, because they're volunteers, help. Do they get paid? I think it's volunteers. But we're watching a show called Serpent on Netflix, and it's about it's like a very unique serial killer that mainly targeted people like I'd never heard of this, the hippie trail. And there is a phone there too. Oh fuck yeah, hell yeah, dude. Why not just give it a direct line? Why do you have to make them dial? Why am I here? Why am I criticizing? Can you just call anybody from that phone? What if you get there and I'm like, come on, buddy. Hello, there's other people. I'm riffing today. I'm feeling it. Guys. um so yeah, it was on the hippie trail in and again, shout out to Charles for suggesting the show. It was Thailand, Nepal, Pakistan, in India, Malaysia, France, Afghanistan, Turkey, and Greece. Span of crimes from 1963 to 1976. Pretty fucking cool ass show. I like it a lot. But I'll go into that a little bit more later. But I just thought it was funny that we're talking about hippies. And is anybody else watching that? I honestly, it's one of those shows that's like, if he okay, so I'll go into it a little bit. He already knows about it, so I'll just catch everybody else on the show. It's so the serpent killer Charles Sobaj. I don't know how to say it correctly. Probably yet. Let me see if they have a phonetic saying, because they haven't said it on the show yet. I don't believe they're just going through all of his aliases now. Does not have a phonetic saying, so I'm going to say Charles Soprage. I think I nailed that. But yeah, there's a basically it's a TV. It's on Netflix. TV miniseries. Oh fuck, go on back now. Nope, wrong way. All right, here it is. Is it a true story? So it's based on the real events. If you watch the 8-part limited series, The Serpent, it is inspired by real events that took place in the 1970s on the Southeast Asian hippie trail. It's commissioned by BBC. One of the series was created by Mammoth Screen. Okay, so what happened to the real serpent? Sabraj is now 76. So he's still alive, guys. I don't want to give too much away. Also, I don't want to do too much research because I haven't finished the story, the thing yet. But we're about, I think we're like halfway through. So if it's 8 parts, we're about halfway through now, and I would highly suggest it. The only thing is really interesting to me is like, and I don't like, I don't know, I don't mean it to be like a it's not a criticism. It's just kind of a weird thing. The guy in the it's cool because it's interesting to me. I haven't heard a serial killer, um, because that's what this person is like. That's a story of a serial killer on the east. You know, they just said it, but it's basically it's based on. It's not like the traditional kind of. It's weird. It's like a it's interesting finding like almost like regional serial killers, because you think of like foreign serial killer, you're kind of thinking like oh yeah like smart, like you know, like one of those fucking Hannibal Lecter types, right? Like a British guy, you know, that's like, oh, I'm gonna stab you and eat your insides. I don't know why I did a New York accent. uh but there's a level to this guy that's like the people he's focusing on are like straight up privileged white fucking hippies. And honestly, it's fucking cool as shit. I really it Charles, the reason I wanted to talk to Charles about it was because he had mentioned that uh that I was saying that like a lot of these things like what was the other one? Fuck. Narcos. The one about Pablo Escobar, Breaking Bad. And I think Sopran or not Sopranos, because we watched Breaking Bad before we watched Sopranos. Weird, right? But those kind of shows kind of got me like not used to, but like it kind of normalized rooting for bad guys. Like where's the focus on like I'm always just kind of focused on uh I'm focused on the like the main character. Like really, just tell me who the main character is and let's go. Come on now, you know. That's honestly that's I feel like it's not even a it's not like I'm like in the story of Pablo Escobar, even when they're showing he's the villain, like in a lot of things, again, yeah, if he's bombing a plane, that's not cool. But also, like, I don't know, man. Like, they went after him for a lot of people, a lot of innocent people that didn't have to died. And I think after a while, it's kind of on both of them. Even though, like, and I'm not saying that to say that he was not a bad guy. I would never. I'm just saying that, like, in that story, I'm just kind of like, he's a bad guy, but he's also like, yeah, there's a lot of bad people in the world. I don't know. Like, he also like gave a lot of money to people, but he hurt a lot of innocent people. I understand that. It's a fucking, you know, hey, good guys are boring. Yeah, that's a good point too. Like Kevin's pounding off in the comments on Instagram, and like it's kind of a like uh, like The Boys, the show. Like I was like the most interesting and fucking like and in my opinion, like the most compelling character, and it's kind of obvious, is Homelander. He's fucking great. Like it's crazy. Even though there's Huey and he's like, you know, like that stuff. And maybe it's just me being a completely, you know, self-diagnosed spectrumy. Could be just a terrible sociopath. Maybe I'm just a mild that's why I'm empathetic to a lot of the victims, but or to the villains. But Homelander is that thing of where you're like, why? What makes somebody like again, like what's the justification or the where's the and to me, the serpent is one of those ones where it's like, no man, I'm fucking I'm very not on his side necessarily, but I'm also like, eh, I don't know, except for the fact that innocent people are dying. The fact that innocent people are being killed, manipulated, and or drugged or whatever it may be. That stuff, yeah. I'm like, yes, I don't, but also like, there's some. What the fuck? What happened? And the way like they're kind of unfolding, like the character himself is like oh, this is like this is not just like because my last favorite show that I was watching was and I don't know if it's coming back or not, but I don't think it is. It's fuck, Mindhunter. Was that it on Netflix? The FBI show. It's like basically the FBI profilers, like how they invented like serial killer profiles and like saying like and invent the invention of the term and all that stuff. I don't mean it to like I don't ever mean it to minimalize their crimes or to or the loss or anything like that or to give them celebrity or fame or anything like that. It just is it is truly interesting to me what creates that thing in their mind that they like in a lot of the things in the FBI show was basically I gotta figure out the name of that show. I think it's Mindhunter. That'd be weird if it was Mind Hunters, right? Mind Hunter thriller series. Is that it? Yeah, I was right. Okay. So yeah, it's basically. Oh no, hold on. The first thing is Mind Hunter canceled? Oh no. The answer, unfortunately, is no. Wait, what? Wait, why is that unfortunate? I'm gonna fucking fight whoever this says, whoever fucking wrote this. On July 15th, Netflix told TV Line that Mindhunters season 3 is on indefinite hold, not technically canceled, just that the cast and crew were released from their contracts, though realistically, the chances of reassembling them in the future are slim. Oh, come on, please. Uh, it's all right. It's a good show. Nothing good. The Leftovers was great, and that was only like 3 seasons. Mindhunter's incredible. It's only 2 seasons, but um, it's them basically creating. I don't know why I said it like that. Creating uh the way to profile like what makes a killer. Like how can they catch this earlier on, see a pattern earlier, or notice trends even before they start, killing and stuff like that. It's fucking incredibly interesting. And the way that this serial killer himself, right now I know him as Alain, but he is like it's because when they do like they're doing their bidding, they kind of do their little monologues, and they're just kind of like uh you know uh you know this is what like I don't want to give anything away. Watch the show, it's fucking incredible. But like when he's just like the like things that he's kind of projecting, or the things that he's it's still kind of the same themes, and a little bit like a very lonely kind of like preying on weaker, more manipulative easily manipulated people. Oh, nailed it. We're covered on that one. Stuck the landing. I fumbled a little bit on the beam, but I stuck the landing. We got some pounding here. Perfect Wow, perfect Huey Lewis impression. Wait, perfect Huey impression. God damn it. Why did I add Lewis? Now who's projecting? Now, if somebody came up to me and said, Pat, you look like Huey Lewis, I go, oh, come on now. Take it easy. You flatter me. Thank you. Give me the vapors. Are you a serial killer? Yeah. Good Guys, Underdog movies had their time in the 90s. Forrest Gump, Radio, I Am Sam. I found a pattern. He found the pattern. John Montag pounding off hard. I love it. No, but it's the underdog thing. Even something like Forrest Gump is it's a great movie, sure. Yeah. But it's also like it's just the worst fucking story compared to something like I don't know. It is that's more of like that's a more brutal story than even like Rocky. Like that guy is getting fucking like his that girl just keep like Jenny just keeps fucking the way that his friend Lieutenant Dan talks to him. Unacceptable. Just like all the time. And then like he just shows up at his wedding and he's just like, Flores, we're old friends. It's like, what the fuck? You were just calling him an asshole and you're saying you fucking dickhead, stupid dummy. You can't eat a helmet, you fuck. And then as soon as he makes you money, then you're best friends. You got Lieutenant Dan leg. Look at you. Same as a space shuttle first. Like that's just he that guy that is a more brutal beating than Rocky. He takes such a fucking beating in that movie. You my girl. You're my girl, Jenny. Oh, I have AIDS. That's your son. I got AIDS. He might have AIDS. We haven't checked yet. Gotta go. Oh, bury me under that tree that I first betrayed you at. Another story, like if that story followed Jenny, way better fucking movie. Tell me, I mean, she didn't go to Vietnam or anything. Honestly, it would probably just be her in a lot of bathrooms crying, either on drugs, off of drugs, making like mistake. Like it just come on, guys, let's find out. Why don't we do 50-50 remake? Let's recast Forrest Gump, guys. Let's do it. We're here for it. I'm gonna go first. Lieutenant Dan recast as what's his name? Who's J. Jonah Jameson? That guy, the farmer's guy. I think he could be a great Lieutenant Dan. Or is he too old? He's probably too old for it, right? No. He could play younger, right? Like they could have him young, like because he's bald. He could just be bald the whole time, or just give him a wig, right? In the Vietnam times, or would you make that like Iraq? Would you update it, and that's like the first Gulf War or something like that? Oh no, make Forrest a fucking firefighter on 9/11. Perfect. Or not a firefighter. He's a hot dog vendor that saves like 3 firefighters or helps 3 firefighters save like the whole bottom 15 floors. But then when they go back to the bench and he's talking to the old lady and he or the nurse lady, who would he be talking to? Maybe a cop, right? And he'd just be like, but we couldn't save any more floors after that. That's all I want to say about that. And then the officer knows, like he's like, and he doesn't even say anything. The officer just stands up, and he's just like, and then shakes his hand because famously, police officers and firefighters don't, but like remind them, like firefighters and police officers, famously from what I've seen in a lot of shows and stuff like that. Shout out to Brooklyn Nine-Nine and what's the other one? Oh, fuck, I can't remember the something FD Tacoma FD firefighter show and a cop show. You're welcome. But then they just shake hands and then he gets on the bus or gets in a squad car. I guess he wouldn't be waiting at a bus stop. Finishes his lunch. We'll figure it out. Let's write this movie, guys. Rami Malek. Hold on, wait. Oh, here we go. We got some. How has there not been a porn parody of Forrest's mom banging dudes to get forced into different schools. Yeah, Forrest Hump. There you go. Rami Malek stars in Forrest Gump 2, Electric Boogaloo. No, it doesn't even have to be a sequel. Oh, I guess it could be a sequel. Forrest Gump's, because he's also Forrest Gump, right? His son. But his son was like, remember how much he cried when he was like, when he was reading the book? He's just like, you're just so smart. It's like, I mean, he's like, Dad, this is my book. I actually have it memorized. I'm not even reading. Like, memorized? I ride across the country. Yeah, I remember. And then you made the smiley face shirt. Okay. What was Jenny doing at the time that he was like, shit happens? You know, like, I know. Or go opposite route. This is what John's saying. Forrest works in a lab in Wuhan, China, and one day you let him mess around in the virus tube room. I would love that. I just want to see a door, the door hanging over, like the sign, like the psst, psst, and he walks in, and then they just pan up to the door and it just says virus tube room. Forrest Gump Jr. grows up to discover 8chan. That would be cool. Yeah, he's an incel or a school shooter. No, that's too dark. Let's not go that way. Let's keep it light. Rami Malek, I think, would be a good Forrest. I think that's good because he's like he has the same tooth. Dom was saying something about that. He has the same tooth thing that um Freddie Mercury has. That's why they picked him for the role, right? And then honestly, I'm going like the third or fourth hand information here. I don't even know where she heard it. I'm gonna back out of this one. Check out Serpent on Netflix. No, I think Forrest Gump remake is due, and we go 50-50 with the story. 50% Jenny, 50% Forrest. I feel like and just make it a little bit more compelling. He's a hot dog vendor, uh, local hero because he went in. And like, does he have health problem? You know, like let's say he even helps people after the fact, right? What would he discover? What would be the thing instead of discovering app or investing in Apple? Remember, like he's like, Lieutenant, I invested some of my money in this fruit company. What would be the thing? Facebook, I would guess, right? It would have to be Facebook. Oh, Bitcoin. There it is. Figured it out. Bitcoin. I'm digging this remake. Little known fact: if you're a person who listens to the Proper Ebonics podcast, and if you don't, you can listen anywhere you get your audio podcast, or you can watch videos of it on Baby Mermaid Productions YouTube channel. Please subscribe there, like the videos, comment, pound off, let them know what you think, huh? But if you're a fan of Proper Ebonics, you would know that comedian Alan Massenberg, one of the co-hosts, along with Kirk Griffiths, Alan Massenberg, his favorite movie is Forrest Gump. Now, I don't know if I have this isn't probably the best pitch in the episode. This episode isn't the best representation probably or way to, let's say, present the remake of Forrest Gump, but I feel like we can do this. I feel like we can get him on board, and I feel like he should have a role. He may not like it, and we could change the name if he wants. I don't know, but he could be maybe the Bubba role. You know, that's very interesting. That like the whole movie. I may rewatch Forrest Gump today. Maybe I'm not remembering. Maybe I'm just thinking less. I want to feel like what the ride is. You know what I mean? Like watch the whole, figure out the movie, because I've seen it obviously, but I'll rewatch it now in context because that's a classic. It is a classic, and I'm not saying that it's a bad movie. I'm just saying that, like, I would think that Jenny had a way darker life for sure, but also I feel like it's just Forrest Gump just getting beat up that whole fucking movie. Something bit me. That's really funny though. I do like that part. He discovers jet fuel doesn't met. Ooh, okay. Yeah. See, now that's an angle that'd be all right. Like, let's say this is Forrest Jr., right? Discovers that he's so smart. He discovered that jet fuel doesn't. He learned how to make memes. I'm so proud of you, Forrest. You made a meme. I was gonna suggest black reboot of Gump, but that may just be radio. No, because radio, uh, again, that's I think they and they go over it a lot in not a lot, but they do go over it in Tropic Thunder. It's a famous scene. Again, Tropic Thunder is just I feel like on the chopping block, man. How does that like? How does something like it's just so interesting. Still with the blackface. Do you think that is that? I wonder if that's why Robert Downey Jr. was like, you know what? I'm just gonna Iron Man's gonna be the only superhero ever to ever die in any movie ever. I guess except for maybe what's his face Vision, right? But I don't even know. Honestly, don't quiz me on that. I honestly don't know. Your Forrest Gump impression is also of Dr. Phil impression. Yeah, I don't that second one was not my best. You're right. Thank you for pointing that out, John. He's keeping me honest. Ass Pro and Art Dick of the show, John Montague. John Montague said, spelled. God damn it! It's been a while since I said that. I'm a little rusty on that. I need to work on that. Montague spelled. Montag said, just so I can remember. No more reboots and remakes. Where are the new stories? I've been asking that for a long time. My whole thing, my angle with the Lady Ghostbusters wasn't like don't ruin my childhood, don't do this. It wasn't anything like that. My whole thing with the Lady Ghostbusters was like just do your own thing, do your own thing. Like why can't it be like them working together or like oh you take over? I don't know. Like there could have been so many different ways to approach that instead of just being like oh we invented the like it's just interesting to me. I also find it really interesting when they're like when certain comic book characters or something like that are depicted a way and then they're like and then when they put them in a movie or something like that they're like how could you have this person playing the character like it's like the character's fucking made up just like everything like the person gets to say whatever it's interesting to me that like how many times people and I this was something that we talked about a bunch of times on Buddha Boys and stuff. So I don't know if Kevin's familiar with it or anything like that, but it's a lot of times it's interesting how fans seem to take over um uh like properties and things like where they're kind of start dictating what the reality of like and it's like I don't know man like how dare you tell the creator or the person who's like what their intent was like I never understand that because especially in something when you're telling a story there obviously is intent. It's not just an accident. So like when they're creating characters and stuff like that how could you tell them who should be who. Next up in the is the Ghostbusters remake for kids where we're hitting peak nostalgia. Is there really a Ghostbusters for kids coming out? Or you I don't I honestly don't know if that's a joke or not. That'd be crazy. But you're right. I do appreciate original stories. That's why I like something like this isn't it's a at the beginning the only thing about the serpent just to bring it back to that as far as like telling original stories and stuff was like I don't this isn't necessarily like it's based on true events but they make it a point at the beginning of the show to have a disclaimer saying everything said on here is made up. It's just loosely based on a real story. And it's like, well, how? So like that's why obviously I googled it to try to get some of the real like what's going like. So there, it's so precise in the show that it's just making me more interested in the fact of like because like it's this Asian French guy, for Asian French Indian something like he's this bunch of ethnicities. This guy is just popping around fucking the hippie trail just picking off hippies, taking all their money. It's great. It's fucking crazy. The creator wouldn't have a successful product without fans. That's true. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that point, Kevin, and I know what you're saying. Starring Finn from Stranger Things. Oh yeah, yeah. But no, the you wouldn't have a successful product without fans is a good point, but it's also like, but what created the fans in general wasn't necessarily, it's not necessarily their interpretation. I feel like it's them trying to make themselves a part of the thing that they love without just being a fan. I think the people that I'm talking about aren't just fans. I think they're people that think that, feel that they are. Whereas this, whereas GDP Live, I do feel it. There is a collaboration. There is way less of a collaboration. Like when you go up to a creator of a comic book and then you go, I think, yeah, you should do this. All right. I think it's really, or what do you like, whatever. I don't mean to, I should not have made that derogatory voice. I apologize. Asking questions about the what, not saying that's what you sound like, Kevin, by the way. But like to any dorks that go up to conventions and say anything to the people or give those kind of notes, because it's like, for me I'd be like, oh cool, yeah, that's you know, like, but it's also like, you know, I don't know, I can't, I wish I could think of a specific case that but it's and I should have had one ready for bringing up the topic. But we have more. Who knew nerds were, who knew nerds were over hold on, let me read this. This is from Avery. Who knew nerds would invest in something, then get mad at creators for making a change? What superhero is Pat gay looking headband? What superhero is Pat gay looking headband man? I don't know. I don't know what that means. What sup- what superhero is Pat gay looking headband man? Is that, did you, was that a question? I'm very confused, Avery. I apologize. I'm trying to read the pounds, but it's this collaboration isn't working out. I'm sorry, sharks. Wait, on the shark. Either way, the serpent is it's not necessarily an original story. Like I wouldn't ever say like, I can't tell you what I would rather the show be. Like that's the thing. It's like a lot of times, like maybe that's the thing, is it doesn't necessarily, it's not about me. It's not about necessarily, I think a lot of times when I'm talking about maybe super fans or people that are over invested in something, like maybe more like passionate obviously about whatever it may be. And I've been that way about things, but also it always comes down to like the realization of like, yeah, but it's not just your, it's not about you. And that's one of the that's one of the unfortunately good and bad things about the internet, is because then you could, you do something like this, you go, oh, here's my opinion, here it is, and then people can seek it out or whatever. Or here I would be in a feed where you could just stumble upon it looking through people's stories, and I appreciate it. uh Thanks for sticking around. But if it's like, if it's a situation where you go up to the creator and you're like, hey, I took this opportunity to pay to get an autograph from you so I could tell you that I think the way that you did this was wrong and you should have done it this way, or how dare you do this. I think in that case, those are the situations where I'm like, hey, man, share your pound off for sure. But like in that case, like, you know, they know what they're doing, I think. What's the last thing you tried? Oh, hold on. I have to go back up a little bit. Your superhero name is gay looking headband man. Thank you, Avery. I appreciate the clarification. Avery Quinn. Shout out to Avery Quinn 66 on make sure to give him a follow on Instagram. That guy, he's putting out the quality shit. Uh, what's the last thing you tried to start watching but stopped because it was awful? Um, oh shit. Honestly, it's probably whatever Dom's watching now. I think we started to watch. Uh, oh, I know. Hold on, I could probably just pull up my. Hold on, 1 second. Bam, shikalaka. Mute this some bitch. Go ahead and leave me alone. I'll just go to the queue. I know I got it here. Leave me alone. All right, let me go. Honestly, probably I think Cobra Kai. It's that's weird. That's not the best way to. I guess it's not the best way to put it, but like I didn't like so like season 3 of Cobra Kai. I think would be a better way to put that. Season 3 of Cobra Kai. What else? I didn't like. Yeah, I guess it was just later seasons of shows I already liked. You know what I mean? Um, damn, I liked a lot of shows. I'm watching a lot of this, like I think this might just be things that maybe they already know I like. Irishman? Nope, that was great. Uh yeah, I would have to say that. Like and like Don would probably remember better than I did or I can, but as far as shows, I for the most part, I think I would watch like a trailer for something and just go like I don't need to see that. Yeah, I am trying to look for something, but I don't see anything in here that I like off the top of my head that we started that. But she like again, she just watches. She would stick through a thing. We watched that Kevin James sitcom that's on Netflix. The one where he's like on a NASCAR team or something, or he's like in the crew. I don't know if anybody's watched that. I can't get into modern day pro wrestling. Yeah, I mean that's I don't I haven't really actually, surprisingly, as somebody who is on and produces a wrestling podcast, shout out to Falls Count Anywhere. Uh, there is I haven't even really attempted it still. Actually, I knew a lot of people that went to WrestleMania back in Florida, a lot of family that got really good seats. Actually, I had family. Manny had some family that went to WrestleMania, and then I think even like a couple people in like Dom's like timeline and shit were going out and like got a box, and that was I think because of the rain. They I think ended up selling more inside seats like that because of the rain, because it was outdoors at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. So I haven't really, and I think it's interesting too because they went on the second night of main events, and the second night of main events had the Fiend, and her parents are kind of pretty religious, and not into the whole not so into the devil as much. And there's I saw some stills from the thing, and there was one point where fuck, I know her name. Hold on, the Fiend, Alexa Bliss has like this like black goo all over her face and stuff like that, and there's like this big black. It looks like squid. It kind of looks like Venom, the symbiote kind of gooey stuff like that, like oil or like uh paint or something like that, and it's like this big pentagram behind her, and I'm like, I might have like that might have been a interesting because they get like very uncomfortable. Like her mom for sure gets pretty uncomfortable with that stuff, and understandably, like if you're pretty seriously religious, you would obviously, if you saw something that was like the sign of the Antichrist, yeah, you would be like, this is wrestling. What the fuck? And that's what you would assume like is possible in all wrestling, but it's also like, I don't know. This is WrestleMania. This one's for the devil. A day two WrestleMania. Yeah, there was like a or 2 day WrestleMania. Yes. It was something I think they did that last year as well. But it was all no, I think it was like all like pre-taped or was at their like their facility. They kind of did the same thing that the UFC did. I honestly do not know who did it first, but they might have been like almost like completely. They might have been just kind of bouncing off each other, like mimicking each other throughout the pandemic. But WWE and or like most wrestling actually and the UFC kind of both like took very little time off, and then when they came back, it was performers only mainly, very little crew, and it was all like done in their in-house, like in their facilities. So like they had like at the UFC Apex, they had some events with no fans, just like limited corners, like 2 or 3 people in a corner, I think. Maybe actually no, like I think maybe like 1 or 2 people or whoever. I think I honestly don't know the exact things, but limited. No fans, and they would just put them. They would broadcast them on ESPN or whatever. Also, Abu Dhabi and on Fight Island, they would do shows out there as well. And that one, when the last Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier fight, they had some fans. They had like 25% capacity or maybe 50% capacity. It was pretty loud. Um, the next one, the third fight they're doing, which was just announced, I think in July, is going to be, I believe, a packed house. I don't know for sure, but possibly full house in Full House in Vegas, baby, for that fight. So, but the 2-day WrestleMania this time was held at Raymond James Stadiums, and they had. I guess it was just because maybe they're just trying to maybe because of the limited capacity, they wanted a thing that they could kind of set up. I don't know how much the set changed over the 2 days, but they did have they had one night where they had all their main events and all that stuff, and then night two. So the first night was almost, if I remember correctly, they went over on the most recent episode where you can catch on audio only on YouTube. Falls Count Anywhere, Manny and Youngblood. That's Manny. That's Youngblood. Um, they talked about the first night was almost all tag team stuff. Second night was a lot more main event stuff, aka the Fiend. This guy right here. This is the Fiend on the scene, and he, which is pretty cool. I do like that. It's funny that I thought that too. I was like, man, one of even though I'm not somebody who watches wrestling, I like that character that they're doing because they brought it up a ton on Falls Count Anywhere when he originally came on the scene. Huh? And the guy, the wrestler Bray Wyatt, and also his character, both are like, it's pretty cool. Like, as it kind of goes into the theme of what I'm talking about with like interesting like stories. Like, this is a cool character that I feel like they haven't done a ton. But I think also like her parents would be pretty adverse to the pentagram and like the satanic imagery and all like the red strobe lights. And I'm assuming he won his match because he's the devil, I think. I don't know. Very interesting though. And there's probably a ton of people there with Fiend merch and everything. So I don't know how that fared. Actually, we should probably call them just to make sure they're okay. But speaking of themes, I wanted to get into this. Oh, look who's here just in time. Look at you. It's almost like we plan it every single time. She just happens to pop in the chat every once in a while. Oh, wife underscore George herself. We were just talking about serial killers. I wanted to get into cereals. Look at this. I got this from wife George herself. Got this for your boy, knowing that I'm a huge fan of the oatmeal cream pies, as well as most cream pies. You know what I'm saying? No, I have not tried it yet. Still not open. This is not cat food. Sorry, Chloe. This is. You can have some too. Oh, look at that. There's a whole word search and everything. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've had cereals. We were just watching an episode of Taste Buds on the fuck, what is it? So Fresh Network. Fuck, what was it called? It's Sal Volcano, Sal Volcano's, from Impractical Joker. His YouTube channel, the Keep It Fresh Network. It's not kitty food. I promise you, Chloe. This is oatmeal cream pies. You're not gonna like this. You can smell it when I'll open it later. I'm not even opening it now. I shouldn't have touched the box. That's my bad. I keep shaking it. Stanley's gonna show up. They're gonna start fighting. Gonna have to end the show early. Ian, what's up? We're about to talk about breakfast cereals. We've been talking about serial killers for about an hour and a half, and now we're gonna talk about just regular cereals. So, time's up on the serial killer. Time for some killer cereals. The So Fresh Network. I don't remember whatever it is. Check out Taste Buds with him and Joe DeRosa. They talk about, they brought up cereals, and they were debating which is better between Fruit Loops and fuck, what was it? It was Fruit Loops, and what was the other fuck? Oh, Cocoa Pebbles. That's what it was. They didn't even do Fruity Pebbles, which was interesting to me, because why wouldn't you go fruit and fruit? But it's not food. Chloe, it's not food. This is not here. Go ahead. Go for it. Look at the box. She just knocked it over. This is no problem. No problem, Ian. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. There is Ian said thanks for the update. There is I won't give away which one technically wins the debate. But it kind of got, Dom and I were talking about, as you watch, as most good art does, it elicits a good conversation, right? You go to see a great movie that you love, and then afterwards you love talking about it on the way, usually on the way out of the theater, so you ruin it for everybody else waiting, if theaters ever come back, of course, in the new normal, yada yada yada. Not the before, I'm talking about the before times. So if like, I was trying to really think, like, I don't necessarily, the cereals that I ate growing up, I don't have a ton that I'm like super nostalgic for, except for kind of Golden Grams. So like, I was trying to think of what my favorite cereals are, and I remember thinking I had never, I was always petrified. I don't know why. I do not understand why, because I thought it was gross. Maybe this is it. I figured it out immediately. All I had to do was just ask myself the question out loud in front of you guys. What, like, I don't know why I never tried. I was gonna say I don't know why I never tried cereals with like the fruit in it. Like you always saw pictured on the box, like Kellogg's Frost Flakes with the strawberries, or Raisin Bran, or any of this other stuff. And I'd always like go like, I'd want to try it, but I would be just, I'm like, 2 scoops of raisin in your cereal? Ugh. You know? So I didn't pick up the nostalgic cereal, but also Dominique was talking about how much she loved Fruit Loop, or the fact that she liked Fruit Loops. Not that they're her go-to, but I had to think about it. I really did some reflection, and I feel like my nostalgic cereal would have to be Golden Grams, not necessarily Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but the ones that I was eating when I was younger were just kind of like, you every once in a while you get to pick your cereal. It's really important when you get to pick what you're going to eat. So if you're at the store with your parents and they say like, oh yeah, go ahead and pick what you want, like, anything I want, like just one box, but and you're going to have to eat the box. So you could either go with the one that you go to normally, or go with one that you think is going to be similar. And Raisin Bran was so different, aside from Frosted Flakes, because they were just regular flakes. But I mean, we're talking, these are different flakes. They got raisins in them. Never ventured into it, so I wanted to try that, and I got a box of Fruit Loops, and I got a box, big cereal kick right now. I think I'm probably going to end up picking up a box of Golden Grams as well, because if I'm really thinking about it, Pops, but I don't think I would. I think if I revisit Pops, I don't think I'm going to like them as much. That might have been a kid's, like Cookie Crisp. That might have been a kid cereal. Like, that's just, you're just eating cookies for breakfast. That's cookies. So this is kind of in that spirit. You know what I mean? Chloe left. She gave up on the box. But that's kind of in this spirit. We were at the store once. They also have, I think, Jolly Rancher flavored. If I wasn't, or Sour Patch Kids, they have weird flavored cereals for sure now. I went heavy with, I got a box of Raisin Bran. Guess what, guys? I do love them. That became my current favorite cereal. Now I want to try this one. This might be my new favorite garbage cereal, but I don't know. I have to try it out, and I will try it out and give the full. I'm not. I don't even know if I'm gonna necessarily give a review. I just wanted to talk about cereals, because I'm obviously uncovering a lot about myself via cereals. You ever talk about cereal combos, like putting cinnamon, life, and Apple Jacks in the same? No, that's actually, I think my mom did that once in front of, like, she did, and it wasn't crazy. It was like she would do kind of like filler, almost like you would have like a rice cake. She would pour some like Rice Krispies, just regular Rice Krispies, which she was the only one that ate that usually. Um, and then she would pour like some Cocoa Krispies over it, or Cocoa. We wouldn't even get Cocoa Pebbles necessarily. Cocoa Krispies. That's what we'd get. She would mix it with a sugary cereal, so it'd be like, oh, I'm getting a bite. It's almost like putting a little bit of a topping on it. So that's kind of a good habit. She kind of taught me that, like, use cereal as a snack, or like I never thought of it as a meal or a snack or a meal besides breakfast. I always kind of I just kind of it's weird that some people grow out of it. I guess because of the milk thing. I don't love milk. So even in cereal, it's still kind of like I don't know if I have an actual allergy to it, or if it's just what milk does to me. It just makes me a little farty, or what, or the cereal, in your mouth, yada yada yada. To get back to work. No, love you too, my wife. She's probably already gone by now. Sorry. Rice checks and crackling oat bran. Jesus Christ. Ian coming in hard with a very unique cereal. I don't even know if I've ever heard of that. Is that a hot cereal? That's oatmeal. But I feel like the combo pack is good, but there's like just too little cereal in there. If you ever get like the box that has 8 bags in it or something like that, or the box that has all the little boxes, or if you're at hotel cereals. Shout out to hotels. That's something I miss about from the before times, is going to hotels doing comedy on the road for sure, but on doing comedy on the road, stopping at hotels, and then just seeing what kind of free breakfast items I could just grab. Like free food that you enjoy is great. Now that I know that I love Raisin Bran, I'm gonna be snagging bags of Raisin Bran wherever the fuck I go. Like I really like Raisin Bran. Then I found out Raisin Bran is not that I not that I went into it thinking that it was a healthy cereal, but like I definitely thought it was gonna be like, yeah, it's a good alternative to like some of the shittier ones, but they're like, when I Google it, it's like, yeah, Raisin Bran's kind of shitty. Like they sugarcoat their raisins, and it's like, god damn it. And for me, I don't think you need to do that, but maybe that's why I love it so much. I need to just embrace the sugary cereal side of me. So when we were at the store and we saw the oatmeal cream pie cereal, I was like, I actually really like the Little Debbie treat, the oatmeal cream pie. Not just because of the name either, Ian. I know that's why you love it. JK. I used to eat so much cereal that I'd buy milk 2 gallons at a time, but now I haven't bought milk in 10 years. So no more cereal? Or do you switch to, do you have water in the cereal? That's like, no matter how much I disliked milk, I would never, I dislike the idea of putting water in my cereal more. And I don't know why. I honestly don't. I would rather. I should probably get some kind of milk alternative. Your oat milks, your coconut milks, your almond milks. But if you're talking cereal, and I know you are, I would say that just means, and that's a lot of, oh yeah, just no more cereal. Then try it out. Get a sampler pack. Try a new. I would suggest this. We're talking about cereal now. Raisin Bran was always one that I would always like, and also cornflake, like any kind of Kellogg's cornflake, any of those ones that was pictured with fruit on the front. I never loved Frosted Cheerios. That was an old classic that I loved. I might pick up some Frosted Cheerios if they still have that. The Reese's Puff cereal, that was a sugary one when I was a kid that I think if I had now, I'd be like, damn, I don't know, man, I'm gonna fucking throw up. So like, baby step it, but dive back in. Maybe you don't need the milk. Try, again, maybe Ian will try some milk alternatives together. But I was hesitant to buy this because Dom doesn't even like oatmeal cream pie, the like the actual sandwiches, like the little snack foods. So when I was like, "Oh yeah, do you want to try that?" and she's like, "Not even a little bit," because let's say it tastes exactly like that, still yuck. Oh, by the way, I wanted to give a shout out to Pat, a friend of mine named Pat as well, who for he told me this is what they tell their kids, him and his wife, when they if they have to try something and they're like they start going like or something. Don't yuck someone else's yum. I fucking love that saying so much, and I'm sure that's probably common. Somebody's probably heard that before. I don't know for sure if they came up with that. It doesn't matter. I've never heard it before, and anytime I hear something so perfectly put like that, that's why I love the quotes. I love the sayings. I love the when it's something that can kind of steer your life, your existence, or whatever it may be in a positive way, or even like have a point where like sum up an idea perfectly in just a couple words. I fucking love that. We got a Stanley on the table. You gonna be a bad boy? I knew he would come because he heard the rattling. He heard what I had to fucking all but douse that son of a bitch. I have you got the spray bottles, right? I'm not that I was like slamming them or beating them or anything like that, but not having to slap my hands or scream a ton when they're fighting because it wasn't helping. Don't even think about it. He was about to start biting wires, motherfucker. Get on now. Don't jump down the stairs. Walk down the stairs. Um, no, but there's you motherfucking mind eraser. How dare you? Oh yeah, yucking someone else's yum. That whatever that saying is like when you can have that kind of like uh you know the golden rule. That's one of my favorites. What's up? We got Big Preem reporting for duty. We're reporting for peeping. Working out in the field today. Just popping in to say hey, how's it going, man? We're just talking about breakfast cereals. You can catch up later on. um don't yuck someone else's yum is like that is a thing that like obviously they're just saying that for right now as kids to say like don't uh just because you don't like it doesn't mean that it's not good. It just means it's preference. Teaching them preference is fucking so important at that young. I was like, I just said like, man, that is awesome. You guys are doing a fucking great job. That is perfect. But it works so well transferring it to everything. If you're online, don't yuck someone else's yum. Just keep it to yourself. That's their thing. I can count on one hand how many bowls of cereal I've had since my body stopped tolerating milk. And don't get me wrong. Don't get me started on milk substitutes. Ron says that was Ian, by the way. Sorry, we're. Hey, you know what? He's. I'm not yucking anybody's yum, but he is definitely pounding pretty hard here. Uh, and Ron Big Preem, since he's just popping in, he wants to just pound off real quick. Yo, dude, milk rules. Have you tried cholesterol kind? The cholesterol kind? Borderline perfection. Oh, chocolate. Oh, sorry. That must have been an autocorrect. I was like, what the isn't it kind of all the cholesterol kind? Yeah, chocolate milk is awesome. I will say that. So yeah, I can't say but I like just milk on its own, 2% whole, any of that, not non-fat for sure. Hell no. Dom accidentally got non-fat ice cream, or it's like made with non-fat milk, and I swear to God, she almost cried when she was like, I made her a bowl, I got that, and she got me the correct ice cream. She got me a kind of a she got pistachio almond ice cream, or pistachio ice cream. It has not almonds, actually crushed up pistachios in it. Fucking awesome. Not the best. Like I like the gelato, I guess, or whatever, but it's like this is like Turkey Hill or some shit. She gets whatever is like 2 for $5, but she likes just plain up vanilla. She likes to cut up strawberries on it. I don't know if she's we'll have to find this out later on if she's that way with her cereal. I don't know anybody that ever put chopped up fruit in their cereal except for my mom. Every once in a while would put banana, chop up a banana. Weird to me. Maybe I'll try that too. I'm a grown up now. Maybe that's a grown up thing. Non-fat milk is the biggest garbage known to man. Whole milk all the way. Fuck yeah, Big Preem. He also said before that, yeah, it's all the cholesterol kind. Also, well, Thom is the biggest garbage, but Skim is close to it. Yeah, Thom 2 is absolutely like is like here, but like non-fat milk is like right there. It's like right. That is not food. What do you want? What? I'm doing a show. Chloe's fucking yelling at me. Sorry, I apologize, guys. I chop bananas in mine. See, but okay. So why not try? Yeah, I milk substitutes. Like if you're like, it's just kind of just sugar at that point, right? I mean, a lot of milk is that as well, but maybe coconut water. Maybe that'd be good. Maybe a little bit of not just regular old tap water, but like do a coconut water or something like that. What are you doing? What do you want from me? Chloe's losing her mind. They're both vying for this, but it's not food. Plenty of times in my 20s, I'd dump an entire box of Cocoa Pebbles in a popcorn bowl, dump half a gallon of milk in it, and I'd go crazy. I got the perfect formula for you. All right, hold on. We got another one. Favorite brand of whole milk from Sprouts. My go-to. What's Sprouts? Is that a brand? Brand of milk. I've never even thought of a brand of milk. I just go with whatever's at the grocery store. I guess whatever the store brand is. Popcorn bowls or adult man cereal bowls. Yeah, I would absolutely agree. I totally agree with that. But the perfect ratio, and I think this is the point, because a lot of times I'm a person that if I got cereal or milk left at the end, yuck, no thank you. I don't like that. So I like to have the perfect amount of milk and cereal ratio, right? It's a grocery store in my area. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, whatever it is, like whatever the normal brand, like you just go, yeah, this you got the logo. It's milk, like whatever. I just need the thing in the carton or the whatever jug. I get the jug thing. So you get the pour the you can like I if you've ever read. Hold on, I'll show you actually right now. As long as this doesn't cause any more kitty chaos. A serving of this is a cup and a fourth. 1 1/4 cup of oatmeal cream pie cereal is what's recommended for this. So, but like I don't do like the gigantic heaping bowls of that. I just do a regular size bowl as well. But like you fill it, you get a good amount. Just over. Like if you're looking at the side of the bowl, it's like kind of just you got a nice little hump there, but it's not like gargantuan. You're not filling the whole thing. Then when you're pouring the milk in, pick just one little side, just a little cavern, little aqueduct on the side. That's where the milk enters. Get the milk in there, and then as soon as you see the cereal shift, just a little bit shift, stop pouring. Then eat from that same aqueduct on that same size, and then there you're gonna go. Every bite has the perfect amount of milk and cereal in it, and then at the end of it, no leftover milk. So if you're somebody who's sensitive to it, you're using the only amount of milk that you need, because I feel like if you're putting a half a gallon of milk, even in a full popcorn bowl of cereal, you're still going to have a ton left over. And I maybe I'm not picturing it right, but I've never. I mean, I remember that even in Friday when Ice Cube did that, when he poured like a big bowl of cereal and then said just put water on it. That was the first time I ever heard of that too. I was like, I don't know if my mom had ever suggested it. It feels like a trauma for somebody to suggest putting water in it. So maybe I blocked it out, but that to me was just like, ugh, come on, what are you doing? No. Ron says, we got Big Preem pounding off some more here. He says, depends on the cereal. Some cereals make the milk kind of tasty. That's the thing though. I don't, aside from ice cold chocolate milk, like crack it open, and it's got to be like a little thick too, and that's the part of it. Like breakfast cereal milk isn't, unless you're using a super like, ugh, though, what if I use chocolate milk? Leftover cocoa pebble milk is the best leftover milk. That's what that's what Ian's saying. Sorry. And then also Big Preem saying, agreeing with Ian. Trix tastes like poppy seed muffin cereal to me. Tricks. I don't know if I ever had. Oh, Tricks is that's the one with the rabbit. Yeah, that's fruity, like fruity puffy cereal, right? What's the one? Oh, I'm thinking of Kix. Kix is the one I was thinking of. That's the one I was thinking would taste like kind of like just nothing. I think I might revisit Corn Pops, Golden Grams. Those are I think those are two that might translate from liking them, because again, Cookie Crisp. This one I don't plan on loving this cereal. And that's nothing against them. I think it's just I've aged out of the sweet sugary cereals. I like a nice adult cereal. But I'd like to find the line, because Cookie Crisp again is just eating cookies and milk. That's just all you're doing. Which hey, silly rabbit tricks are for kids. Absolutely. I remember the commercial. I remember it's funny too, because I remember I saw the rabbit first and I was like, what is he stealing? Oh yes, it was all the fruits and stuff. Bouncing out. Hell yeah, Ron. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. Keep safe out there. We'll see you Friday. But yeah, I think essentially there's I think I want to find where like the line is, because I didn't realize that I hadn't done the research, guys, and that's my fault. I was inexperienced with cereals, coming back into it. I just went into it as an adult saying like, oh, I'm just going to go back to buying cereals again. Adult cereal is dicks in a bowl. Alpha dicks. Yeah, it's like I don't mean like adult cereal like a bachelorette party. I mean more like adult cereal like brands and things that are gonna. So when I got the Raisin Bran, I was like, oh, this might be a good source of fiber. So it'll be, I don't have to like like that. You learn a lot about your body when you get older, guys. I'm not gonna get into too much detail, but it gets harder to poop sometimes. Sometimes you need to get like today. Sometimes you need to get a salad with your chicken wings. Eat the salad so it helps you get those chicken wings out. So when you get a bran or a cluster oats, things like that, roughage to kind of, help everything get out. So you learn more about that, but there has to be a happy medium. And I think I'm going to use cereals more as a dessert going forward. If I'm being completely honest with you guys, in closing, for now, because I'm sure we'll revisit this. I'm sure Charles will have some more to say about Serpent and both cereals. I want to get everyone's opinions on what's your favorite, and not favorite in the sense of with the killer, like which one do you think is the best, but the most interesting. And as far as cereals, which one do you think is the best? Huh? I'm gonna try this one. I honestly, I don't know for sure if it's gonna be. Oh, it's naturally and artificial flavored. I think they even had Girl Scout cookie flavors of cereals too, which I would have to assume would be just Cookie Crisp again. You can't say it any other way. I love that cereal as a kid, and I love the fact that I got to eat it. There's no way that was at all good for you, and if that's still available, shame on them. Try harder. Don't just break up cookies and put them in a box. Try harder. Make a cookie a cereal. Don't just put cookies in cereal. I know that oatmeal cream pie is not necessarily that. I don't even know. Do they have a little frosting between them? I'm intrigued. I can't wait. I'll let you guys know. I'll see you Friday. I love you all.
Gross.